God, Raptor fans. Either this team is bored or they're just having a tough time. The Raptors fall 117-106 to the Los Angeles Clippers at the Air Canada Center and fall to 54-20 on the season. And now only have a 3.5 game lead over the Boston Celtics. Boston won today against Sacramento, so that's that. I mean, look, I know some guys in the comments have said, look, the team's getting bored. Yeah, but you don't have this #1 seed locked up, especially you play a very good Denver team next, and then you have Boston, Cleveland, Boston. Yeah, 2 games against Boston, the team that's trying to catch you and is only 3.5 back. This seed is far from locked up. It's how you do against Denver, and let's say in the first game against Boston, you win both, yeah, you could be in a really good situation. But anything else happens, we might be talking about hanging on for dear life. Let's break this puppy down a little before we start talking about all that stuff. We've been so used to this team coming out slow in the first quarter or kind of being really bad defensively, but the offense is cooking, but you're stuck by a little bit, like against Cleveland or in Oklahoma City, 43-38 or something like that in the first quarter. Like, great, the offense was cooking, but the defense stunk. You know, and then in the fourth quarter, the offense comes alive. You get back in it. We've seen that over the past little while, and you find a way to win. And obviously, against Oklahoma City and Boston and Cleveland, that didn't happen. But usually, that's what we've been used to. Today, a different story though. Raptors come out of the gate firing. At one point, have an 18-point advantage, and we're thinking this is the team we wanted to see. Excuse me, the team that shoots the ball well, the team that gets up into them defensively and really digs in hard. But then in the latter half of the first quarter, you give up a big run or a semi-big run, and you're only up by 7 after the first quarter, but you're up. You have a winning first quarter. You hold them to under 30, and you score 35. Hey, I'll take that right now. Second quarter, you hold them to 25. We score 25 as well. Okay, that's fine. Still a 7-point lead at the half. You give up 28 and 25. That's terrific. And you've got a 7-point lead. I'll take it for right now because the Clippers are a very desperate team, a team that's 10th in the Western Conference, trying to hang on to their playoff hopes for dear life. And the Raptors are just at the top of the Eastern Conference. I'm hoping they're not sitting there just like, all right. They better not be like that because Boston's coming in hot, and I don't want to deal with that. And you go into the third quarter, Raptors offense shrivels up. You only score 20. You give up 27. It's a tied game, 80 apiece at the end of 3 quarters. But it's okay. This team, like we've seen, has had great things in the fourth quarter. And we're only tied. We're so used to being down going into the fourth. We're tied. This Raptor team's got it in the bag. Nope. The bench has an awful time to start the fourth quarter. And at one point, I think it was like 7 minutes left in the fourth, you're down 14. Raptors cut it eventually to 5. And then Lou Williams takes over, and I'm like, you son of a... And the Raptors, again, Freddie gets a 3. Lou Williams, and 1. Right? It just was not the Raptors game in the fourth. And so you gave up 28, 25, and 27 in the first 3 quarters. Yes, they scored 80, but that's not all that bad. But in the fourth quarter, you give up 37. The defensive intensity dried up. And the offense shriveled and died until about 6 minutes left. But it's too late when you're already down 14. Not good enough. And you could say, well, if the Raptors made a few more threes in the first half, or if they made a few more threes in general, look, all they needed to do was defend a little bit better in the fourth. And then what defense leads to good offense. We've seen with this Raptor team, play good defense, get a turnover, transition 3, bang. Everyone's fired up, and we have great things going for us. but they could not do it in this game. And speaking of turnovers, that was a big issue today. 7 turnovers for the Los Angeles Clippers, 16 for the Raps, and they just didn't look good. Kyle and DeMar only had 11 points for both. Each of them had 11. DeMar, 3 of 11 from the field, and it looked like he was just forcing every shot. You know, he really had a tough time. Lowry was 4 of 9 from the field, and I think it was, what, 2 of 6 from 3? No, 3 of 7 from 3. That was Serge Ibaka, who was 2 of 6. And they just couldn't really get anything going. And like I said, the bench didn't look good. I know we're going to say, oh, you know, James, they've been great all season. I know that, and I know they've been terrific all year. But I'm here breaking down this specific game, and this Raptor defense and the bench really didn't play well. Pirtle was a minus 14. Van Vliet was a minus 16. Miles was a minus 14. Siakam was a minus 7. And DeLon Wright was a minus 13. Not a very good performance. And Serge Ibaka looked like he was shooting bricks all day until late in the fourth. But at that point, it was desperation shots. And he was making them. So, I mean, JV, he had a big game. 16 points, 10 rebounds, you know. But the problem, he got in foul trouble. He had 3 fouls at the half. You know, he really didn't look like he was really working hard in this game. 20 minutes, 16 and 10. That is huge numbers. But he got in foul trouble early, and that was a big problem. He got off to a ridiculously hot start. The Raptors had a 14-4 lead at one point. JV had 12. And then he gets in foul trouble and has to come out of the game for most of the rest of the first half. Big problem there. But nonetheless, the Raptors didn't shoot the ball like terribly. 44% from 3, 16 for 36, 45% from the field. But something we've seen over the last few games, the free throw shooting has been awful. Today, 8 of 14, 57% from the line. We are considered one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league. I didn't see that in this game. They really didn't play well enough. And I know I saw, I don't know if I said this earlier in the video, guys, but I know I saw a couple comments about, well, you know, they seem bored out there and they seem tired or something like that. If they're bored and tired, you're going to lose that number 1 seed like that. Boston's playing very well right now. We're not. They're 3.5 back. And we have 2 games against them coming up in the next week and a half, 2 weeks. That can change like that. Let's say you lose both to Boston. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying if you do, it's only a 1.5 game lead. And that can change in a dime. This team's got to play better. And it's not like your next game before that 3-game stretch is a scrub team. I don't know if the Raptors took the Clippers lightly today, but if they did, it's a mistake. Because the Clippers came out, worked harder. I mean, they're more desperate, obviously, right now. But they came out, worked harder, and got rewarded for it. And your next game is against a team exactly like that. The Clippers are 10th in the Western Conference, trying to hang on to their playoff lives. Denver, the Denver Nuggets, on Tuesday night, 7:30 tip-off. They're 9th in the Western Conference, hanging on for dear life to their playoff hopes. You think they're going to come in desperate? Absolutely. But will the Raptors actually counteract that and play well? We're going to have to wait and see. Now, I understand we've lost, was it 3 of 4 or 4 of 6 or something like that. This team has not played well as of late, or they've won 4 of, I don't know the exact number, but it just doesn't feel like they've played well over the last few weeks. It really doesn't. Now, they can change it on a dime. We've seen it happen. You play at home against a Boston or a Cleveland, you rise to the occasion, and you beat the snot out of them. That could happen. But as of right now, what we're seeing, especially in today's game, they're not playing hard enough, and that's that. You play Tuesday against Denver, you get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. Wednesday, Thursday, you get 3 days off before you take on Boston on Saturday night. In Boston. So this game against Denver on Tuesday night, as does Boston play tomorrow? They play Phoenix Not a great team. Boston's probably going to win that game, and they're only going to be 3 back. But if the Raptors beat Denver, there you go. We got our 3.5 right back. We match their win with our win. That's what we got to do. Focus on ourselves. Get the job done. And they have not as of late. But it's okay. You got to try and hit the reset button. You didn't play well today at all. I don't know what the problem is. They're not playing well enough on the defensive end. We all know that. All right? So that's going to do it for this one, you guys. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys are not worried. You guys are kind of frustrated the way the Raptors have been playing as of late. Hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you guys think of the game. Where did this team go wrong? I want to hear what you guys have to say. We'll talk to you guys Tuesday podcast edition. We'll be breaking down Raps, Leafs, Jays, all that stuff. We'll be probably starting with the Raptors because they'll be in the midst of that craziness between Boston and Cleveland. I'm not sure if... Did we play Cleveland on the Monday? Yes. So we'll be talking about the Boston and the Cleveland game. Raptors, both games against Boston and Cleveland, the first 2 of the 3-game stretch, you're on the road. So this is not going to be easy. This team's got to find a way, though. All right, so we'll talk to you guys then, Tuesday podcast edition, about all that kind of stuff. Link to the podcast channel in the description. Link to the podcast itself on iTunes. Boop, same spot down in the description below, guys. Also, the Twitter's in there as well. Go give that a follow. And we'll talk to you guys Jays edition tomorrow. The final spring training video, I guess, of the spring training. Before we talk to you guys, hopefully Wednesday, season preview edition. You know, before first pitch on Thursday against the New York Yankees at the Air Canada, at the Rogers Center. And we'll talk to you guys Leafs edition tomorrow as they take on the Buffalo Sabres at the actual Air Canada Center, not Air Canada Center 2.0. The Leafs look to win their 3rd straight. They've been playing some hard hockey as of late, but they've gotten wins. They've won 2 in a row. Got to keep rolling, especially heading into the playoffs. And they look, I don't know if they can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. Even if they can't, let's go out, get a victory against the Sabres, all right? So we'll talk to you guys then, and we'll talk to you guys Tuesday like we've been previewing. Raptors, Nuggets. The Raptors, I want to see a good defensive game. I don't care if we win 99-91. I don't care. I want to see the Raptors actually play some solid defense for 48 minutes. That's all I want to see. All right, so we'll talk to you guys Tuesday, hoping for an all-around good performance, and in the broad perspective, a win. Nonetheless, we'll talk to you guys then.